Paris 2015 is when we need to have a legally binding agreement that is going to give us at least minimal certainty that the well-being of those most vulnerable around the world is no longer being endangered. And here's my request to you. Help me to maintain the arc of faith for that entire process. What does that mean? We're going to have many ups and downs, okay? The next 3 weeks, we're going to be privileged with many ups. But that's not the full story. We will have many ups and downs in this process. Many. And we cannot afford to let the downs bring us down. We collectively have the responsibility to inject confidence into this process. We have the responsibility to remind ourselves and everyone else around us that ultimately we human beings, we know what is right. And ultimately we will act on what is right. And we will have the courage to act on what is right. So over the next 15 months at least, although we will still continue working after that, but over the next 15 months, my first request to you is maintain the arc of faith. Help me maintain that arc of faith and build confidence that yes, we do have everything it takes. That's not just the funding, it's not just the technology, it's not just the political will. It is the courage to actually stand up and make history the way that we are called upon. And my second request, in case you thought that wasn't enough, my second request to you is to help me maintain the arc of love. What do I mean by that? I mean to maintain in our consciousness, in our thinking, the solidarity with every human being. And you know, it's easy to do that with those who are most vulnerable, with those who are the ones who are going to be most impacted if we don't do our job right. Because we as human beings tend to have that greatness in our spirit and in our heart, to have that solidarity with those that are impacted. And that we must do. I have often said the measure of success of an agreement is whether we can ensure the well-being of those who are most impacted and most vulnerable. But that is not the end of the arc of love. And here's the more difficult part of the arc of love, okay? The more difficult part is to embrace everyone, to embrace every country, to embrace every sector, to embrace every industry. Because, my friends, we cannot afford here to demonize anyone. We cannot afford to point a blaming finger at any country, at any sector, at any industry. We cannot afford that, because that would bring us down and would take away, diminish the power that we have to move forward. Either we will have an answer to climate change for everyone, or we will have an answer to climate change for no one. And so my second request to you is to help me expand the arc of love that I know that you've already put over this process, but include in that arc of love those that are finding it the hardest to get on board. Frankly, neither those countries, nor those industries, nor those sectors knew when they started this whole thing that they were creating such a mess for us. They didn't know that. Now they do. And now they are called to action. But in order to open the space, the spiritual space, for them to come forward with their contributions as they must. If those countries, if those sectors, and if those industries act as a handbrake to the process, my friends, we will not reach the solution in time. We have to bring them along with us. And that is a tall order. That is a tall order because that is not what comes naturally to us. So, help me maintain the arc of faith. Help me maintain the arc of love that extends over all of us. Certainly over 15 months, but then beyond that, so that we can ensure that no child, that no community, that no sector, that no industry, that no country is going to be left behind. That we are actually all going to move forward into a new economy that is exciting, that is safer for all of us, more equitable, more healthy, and that will be able to feed and clothe everyone who will be joining us on this planet over the next 20 to 30 years.